Today on the channel, we got a review with a little bit of Southern charm with the 1/6 scale Mondo Collectibles X-Men Rogue.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale Mondo Collectibles unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we've got Rogue from the X-Men. But of course, for all your Mondo needs and a whole lot more, hit up Mondo Shop or hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description down below, as Big Bad Toy Store does get some of these usually after this. I believe the timed edition, so usually the timed editions have an extra head or an extra 2 heads depending who it is, extra accessories, and then there's usually a standard retail release, and this is the timed edition of Rogue here in this unboxing. And of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other ones on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Let's start off with the old packaging. Very cool uniform packaging on these guys and gals in this instance right here. You got Rogue looking only like a Rogue could look. That is my Rogue. When I close my eyes and I think of Rogue, this is the outfit. This is what I think of. A little Mondo seal of approval right there. Rogue, Mondo again. Kind of sketch edition in the background there. We've seen that with the other figures from this line. We still have to unbox Gambit and Omega Red here on this channel. We've unboxed Wolverine, we've unboxed Logan, Sabretooth. We've unboxed a few of these. Working our way, slowly but surely is what we're doing. X-Men, of course, right on the side, the animated series. Everybody loves that animated series. X-Men 97, hopefully everybody watched that by now. Can't wait for Season 2, I guess is what we'll call it. On the back, a little sketch edition as well. And then instead of the powers of magnets, the power of Velcro is what propels the X-Men. Kind of weird, you think with Magneto and all, you'd have magnets on these, but they have magnets on the Masters Universe, Velcro on the X-Men. It is what it is. It is what it is. But you get Rogue in the package there, of course. And then you get War and Peace. Oh my gosh, we got a lot to read here. Will there be a lot to read? Oh yeah, a lot to read. So you guys can pause the video if you want to read all this. But it's a little bit of a synopsis of Rogue, of course. Stealing our heart, never letting go like a young Rio is what she does do. But X-Men, the animated series right here. But I'm going to take her offline. I'm going to get her out of the package. And we'll be back talking all things Mondo Rogue. All right, we got Rogue out of the package. Let's dive in. We got plenty of accessories and an ungodly amount of heads with this one. So boy, gonna be tough to choose your own head adventure with this one here. But we do get the stand. Of course, we always get these with the Mondo figures. Always appreciate a stand. Nobody wants one of these expensive figures taking a dive off of their display. So you got to make sure you're using protection. You're using your stand. We got that for Rogue right there in black, ready to go. Now we do get another base for this one, which I guess is kind of a stand. Nice weight to it. You could easily use this with your Marvel Legends if you really wanted to. So it is, once again, choose your own adventure, but it is a Sentinel head. You got a little translucent plastic. It's smoking. You know, she took it down, and then you have a spot to plug her feet into. So I think between the two stands, technically this is a stand. You're probably going to want to use this one, unless, like I said, use this one for her. Keep it uniform with the rest of the Mondo figures in your collection. Put this one with your Marvel Legends to be a cool background for some of your X-Men, as I think the size really does work on this. So we do get this stand as well. Very, very nice, very cool. It's definitely a Sentinel that's seen better days. Now we get down to the hands on this one. A couple effect pieces hands. You got one transferring the magic, I guess what we'll call it on this one. But we do got some translucent plastic in blue against an open hand, looking very nice. Then we got one where she grabbed a weapon from somebody and just bent it in half. Of course, Rogue, she can fly. She can do all kinds of stuff. Superpowers, you name it, galore for old Rogue. Looking good in those two special hands. And then we got a little bit of a special hand here. A non-gloved hand. All the other hands got some gloves on it except the translucent one. This one is an open hand. If she touches you, she's going to drain you. That's for sure, as we know. Then we get one here, of course, her glove. Looks like a hand, but it's actually just a glove accessory. So you take this one off and you have this holding the other hand like she always does. We always get Rogue figures over the years where she's holding onto a glove like she slipped it off. So that is the yin and yang to that one. And then we get extra hands. We get 2 fists of Rogue Fury. You got to have these. She's ready to throw some punches and bunches. We know how she does. 2 open hands out of the package for her there. We do get 1 trigger hand, I guess we'll call it. You got a little finger out there, so a little trigger hand action. And then we get 2 different sized gripping hands here for Rogue, both gloved hands just like all the other ones, so all gloves going on. But now we're going to dive into these head sculpts, and this is going to be a lot of the review right here as we got 5 total heads for Rogue. Absolutely wild. First one out of the package, I mean, like I said, this is my Rogue. When I close my eyes, I think of Rogue. This is what I think of. Kind of that reddish, brownish hair on the sides, the big white hair up front, big old red lips on her, and then the green eyes, of course. Get a little headband action as well. Long hair, this is Rogue, what I think of, like I said, when I close my eyes. But then we move on to the second one, very similar to this in the hairdo. The facial features are different. She's not as nice in this one. She's got a little mean mugging. She's got some teeth showing. She's ready to take on the world. She's ready to fight anybody that needs to be fought, I guess, like this Sentinel over here. So we do have that. Then we get another one, very similar once again, but she's giving a little wink action. Not a bad one to use. I may end up using this with a smile and a wink. Give her a little extra personality on your shelf. That may work out pretty good. Third head, once again, very similar, but this time the eyes. She's shooting those laser beams out of the eyes there. Did she suck out Cyclops' powers? Who knows what she's up to, but she's got those beams going off. She's ready to go. She's ready to attack. And then the final one is a figure we've had recently from the Marvel Legends in the last couple of years or so. It's a different version of Rogue. Shorter hair, hair more down. When I think of this head, though, it doesn't go on this body usually. So really a little of this, a little of that. I definitely won't be using this one here. Most likely I'll be using the one out of the package or possibly the winking one. I think will be the one that'll be on my display. But all kinds of heads, man. You can't say you didn't get the head you want. There's about so many different ways to display this one. Think of all the different combos you can have with different heads, different hands, things like that. So truly a choose-your-own-adventure figure if there ever was one. But that's the heads. Now we get to Rogue herself. Of course, Rogue's got that jacket on. She's got that X-Men jacket. Very iconic back in the Jim Lee era. Looking very nice. Got the X logo on the patch on the arm, of course. Green color looking good. Then she has her suit, her flight suit, whatever you want to call it. Of course, yellow and green. We know Rogue. She might have came from the South, but she had her heart stolen in the 80s by the Oakland A's like so many of us did all over the country, of course, and she's been rocking it ever since, the yellow and green attack. Shout out to Carney Lansford. That was her personal favorite. Of course, you and I both know it's the Canseco-Terry Steinbach combo that really brought it home for us. But she loves a little Carney Lansford. I can't argue that. Can't argue that. Salt of the earth, old Carney Lansford, as we do know. Got a free-flowing belt, not removable around the waist there. Got the X-Men logo on it again. Looking good. We talked about the gloved hands. You got the little wrist there for the gloved hands as well. Now, she does got the knee pads here. This is a little bit frustrating as they are loose. They're kind of just dangling around there, so they get a little bit annoying. So those do get in the way. They get turned around. I wish these were stuck in or sculpted on there a little bit better instead of moving around a lot on you. But once you set it, you hopefully forget it. It'll be okay on that. She does got the high boots on this one, of course, as we can see, all the way up to the knee pads with the green straps around it. Of course, you got the cell shading around on the figure. It is the animated series, as we know, so it looks a little bit like the cartoon, of course. But besides that, looking very, very nice. Articulation, arm's going to go all the way around for us. Single jointed elbow, side to side of the elbow. Hands removable, back and forth, side to side. Hula hoop at the waist, no traditional waist down low. You do get those legs that split, those big old Rogue splits if you do need them. Leg does go up, of course. Double jointed knees, pinless knees, very smooth like butter. Sometimes we get Mondos that are really stiff. Sometimes they're a little smoother. I've noticed a lot of change in the joints and stuff, a lot smoother articulation with the He-Man and X-Men ones, which is really good. I had the She-Ra, her hand break just at a simple touch, which was pretty frustrating. We're not seeing that. At least I'm not seeing that as of right now with Mondo. Ankles up and down, back and forth, side to side, a little of that. No peg holes, anything like that. You do get a Mondo logo on the bottom. Of course, you're not going to use a peg hole for her. You're going to use the stand, or maybe this one here. Let's see how well this fits. Can you just lock her foot in there, hopefully? Yes. And yes, okay, just like that. Obviously, you can get her in a better pose if you want to, but it is nice that she'll just kind of fit inside there. I think this is a lot cooler of a way to display Rogue than maybe being plain Jane like this. But once again, going back to it, you could use this for your Marvel Legends. Keep her uniform with the rest of your X-Men if you have those X-Men. Put her here. Of course, we do have Gambit. I think I forgot to mention that. Of course, got to have her and Gambit together. We'll unbox Gambit on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss out that video when that does come, and we'll compare that with the Rogue probably in that very video. But we've got a few of these figures over the last year or so. Once again, what is time, as we always do say. Here's a Wolverine I had handy, of course. Wolverine, an icon of the X-Men. Wolverine and Gambit were always my two favorites. Got to have Wolverine, a part of your X-Men team. But it'll be interesting how deep they go with this line. Are we going to get Angel, Archangel, Professor X? Are we going to get Beast? Obviously, we're getting Cyclops, so I think we know that's coming. Jean Grey, Storm. There's a lot of figures we could get in here, and then they've been making Magneto, Omega Red. They've made Sabretooth. Could we get more villains? We're going to really build out this universe if we're not careful, and it's an expensive universe, especially coming from Mondo. But man, oh man, a lot of fun. It's shelf stealers, if there ever was one. These are very noticeable on your shelf, look very cool, and almost look like a little bit of an art project too, is what they look like. So very, very nice figures. We know that from Mondo by now. We keep building out our team, and the latest X-Men member is, of course, Rogue. But there it is. What are your guys' thoughts? Did you pick up old Rogue? Did you pick up Wolverine? Or are you picking up any of them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. All kinds of stuff. You get all the glamour shots from both channels, videos. You get early access to both videos. You get monthly Q&As, monthly giveaways. It's all going down over on the Patreon. Appreciate the support over there. You can also support the channel, PrestoTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Pick up a t-shirt. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. And on Instagram. So for the mighty Rogue, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.